Hey Leo, how's it going? Happy birthday for all of those that had August birthdays. My name is Dre, and this is your reading for the rest of August 2017. Yeah, I'm getting these late, but I don't know, I sort of have my own tempo with these things. I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I have a small audience, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all you guys' feedback. I appreciate those of y'all that have asked for readings. Yeah, I appreciate it all. It's great. And the more I do these, the more comfortable I am understanding like how I work with tarot. So like one thing, like the biggest thing to me is that I don't really believe in specific set times or whatever. I don't even really see tarot as like looking into the future. I really see it as just guidance and advice that you guys need now. So as far as like, if you do want a personal reading from me, and if you do ask me whether or not something will happen, I cannot answer that because anything can happen. And honestly, I don't want to be wrong. So I like to focus on what you're going through now, what's happening now in your life, and what circumstances, what you need to do in order to, sort of change the circumstances around you. Because nothing is set in stone. And I don't really see tarot as being a definitive answer for anything. It's just, whenever I give a reading, it's me usually telling people things they already know, but it's just like me giving like a different viewpoint of it, just extra advice or just a different way to look at it. So that's how I see tarot, and that's how I feel like it operates. And time is an illusion. Our history, our time on this earth is karmic in a sense, in that we will learn certain lessons over and over and over again until we break that cycle. So yeah, I don't really see things as happening within a set amount of time. Like these readings I'm giving you, for any sign, really, it's like a continuation of the readings I did in the past, like the last month. And it's all linked together. Because, time is an illusion. August is August in itself. The sun is in Leo, but, not to say you guys haven't experienced some of the things that are happening now in January, and you won't experience them in December. It's that sort of thing. So yeah, anyway, with all that being said, here are your cards, Leo. We have the Five of Wands, the Prince of Swords in reverse, the World, Strength, your card, Four of Cups, the Star, the Lovers in reverse, Eight of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. As an outcome, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And as an extra card, we have the Empress in reverse. So because it's eclipse season, and I'm going to try to incorporate the full moon in Aquarius that happened on the 7th, as well as the new moon in Leo that we have coming up on the 21st. We also had that new moon in Leo back in July. So it's interesting how all of these, this doesn't happen often. So it's a very special, important time for you guys and for Aquarius right now, because now is the time for you to really try to align with your heart desire. Leo rules the 5th house in astrology, and that's the house of pleasure, friendship, fun, creativity, children. So for a lot of you, you might want to start a family. You might want to really get yourself out there. If you don't want to start a family, you at least want to bring something into the world that other people can admire and other people want to look at and love and cherish. Or that there's probably a close family member that's giving birth, and you're really excited for that. But, now is not the time, especially if you guys feel like you are um, either at a crossroads or that things just aren't really looking as beautiful as you'd want, because we do have the Prince of Swords in reverse with the Four of Cups and the Lovers in reverse. So I feel like it could be tied to somebody else. If some of you are dating, if some of you are working with like an impetuous colleague, if some of you, who are older that have a child who's like in his 20s and it's like really annoying. And, I feel like could be like a separation between you two. But for some of you, I'm getting that you're dating or that you're married to somebody. And right now, you guys' energies is kind of it's crossed right now. And a part of you feels hopeless in the fact that you don't think that this will work, or that you guys won't be able to get to this different level of your relationship, wherein either you're bored, they're bored, they could be cheating. I never like to bring that up, but it could be a possibility for some of you. But ultimately, I feel like whatever you want to bring into this world, whatever you want to have, you need to really fight for it with this Five of Wands. And the world is like one of my favorite cards. I say it like that because it's a card I haven't really digested yet compared to a lot of the other major arcana, because it is completion, but it's also, a part of it is accepting our limitations. It's accepting the flaws, the things that just don't work, but understanding that there is beauty in that in itself is just a simple byproduct of being human, of existing. But it's also recognizing that any limitations that we feel we have is entirely, it's just our perception. Nothing is completely limited to us. We have limitless possibilities. We just have to be willing to allow ourselves to be more open to it. We have to be willing to fight for it and to be enthusiastic and passionate enough in order to give the appropriate energy out into the world. So I feel like that's the biggest lesson here, to learn to understand that there is maturation, but there's also the need to be more confident and willing, and I guess determined, there's a better word, diligent, when it comes to understanding where you fit in with regards to everybody else in your life, whether it's another lover or whether it's like coworkers or family, people you go to school with. Because I feel like now is sort of a tense time, especially during this Mercury retrograde and these eclipses, where you might feel a little bit detached from everybody, or you might feel like you have to speak up a little bit more than you are more comfortable with, or that you really have to step outside of your comfort zone to get things going. And that's the lesson, to realize that if there is something that you're fighting for, if there is something that you truly want, you have to be willing to step outside of yourself and test yourself, test those limitations. Because the Five of Wands is a very combative energy, but it's also a very independent energy. It's recognizing where we stand in the midst of things, where we stand in all the chaos. And with this Eight of Wands, it's showing that, again, time is moving at a quick pace, and you have to be willing to go along with it. And simply standing still is something that you probably want to do, contemplate, and mull things over. And that is important, because we have this Eight of Pentacles as the sort of outcome, where maybe the way you're going about things is you're used to doing things a certain way. You're used to doing things in a way that require a little effort, that require a little planning on your part. But in order for you to reap in whatever you're trying to bring in, because we have the Leo card as well as the Aquarius card here with the stars, so that's big in and of itself. I don't believe in coincidences. So there needs to be a part of you where you are comfortable with having your Leo side, which is truly living from your heart and truly existing in a way that you have people naturally gravitate towards you, and you absorbing that attention, but also with the star, understanding your unique purpose, understanding it in a way that's sort of divorced from other people's expectations. Because Leo, that is a possibility, depending on how much Leo you have in your chart, of course, and depending on whether you're even a Leo sun or moon or rising, just understanding that, you know, who you are isn't, you know, it shouldn't be the direct result of what people want you to be. You know, it's okay to be a people pleaser. It's okay to have people like you. But at the same time, I feel like there's a part of you that might be not fully expressing yourself in the proper way, which is what the star is. Truly expressing yourself in a way that, you know, because the lady is naked. And I've seen this, I've heard this before. You know, the woman is naked on here, living in her true form out in the open field in the night, amongst the stars. So there's a part of you that needs to sort of strip back any sort of, you know, if this isn't somebody else's Prince of Swords, it's you, your old ways of thinking, your old ways of doing things, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You might, with this Lovers in reverse, be extending your heart to projects or people that aren't truly making you satisfied with this Four of Cups. So you're just like, well, I thought this was love. I felt this. I felt so passionate about this, but now things are at a standstill because, you know, you might find yourself arguing with somebody a lot more. You might find yourself a whole lot more dissatisfied with it. And it's just like, you can feel the world change around you, but you're not sure how to actually move with it. You're not sure where to go with that. And what I'm really getting the sense is that you should follow your intuition, because ultimately your intuition is going to lead you to fulfillment with this Ten of Cups. So in order to bring about this new stage in life, because right now where you are, it's old, the Empress in reverse. It is something that, again, is built upon old ideas, old methods, and it's something that just needs to be reinvigorated with life. And that's your challenge for this month and for the rest of this season going into Virgo season, to understand what truly is giving you life and what truly is making you, what gives you passion, and where have you been, again, too forgiving, too lax with either your boundaries or with yourself. And so it's important to understand that, you know, we all, especially for you guys, especially for you and Aquarius, you have something special, important to give and to bring into this world. And that's truly, it has to do with yourself. You know, we all have that. And it's selfish to sort of hoard that, or it's wrong of us to use that in a way in which we are using it more in a way to please other people instead of truly living for ourselves. And don't fight yourselves either, because I also get the sense that for some of you, your dissatisfaction with the world is leading you to be more combative, is leading you to be more sort of problematic than you would like. So use that fire within you for good, either to affect change around you, positive change around you, or within yourself. So yeah, that's a beautiful lesson. Now I'm pulling cards from the Osho Zen Tarot deck. It's probably like my favorite deck. I don't use it that often. I use it for myself a lot, but I feel like more people just like the traditional tarot cards. Pull these out too. So at the bottom of the deck we have Silence, which is the star, actually. So we have the star show up twice. We have Brightness, which is the Nine of Pentacles. We have Existence, which is the Magician. Aloneness, which is the Hermit. Adventure, which is the Prince of Pentacles. No, Page of Pentacles, excuse me. We also have the World. We are the World, which is the Ten of Pentacles. And Experiencing, which is the Three of Wands. So yeah, this just essentially sort of gives some backbone to what I was saying earlier, wherein you have to understand what it is that you are truly put here to do, what you feel like you have gained enough experience to actually implement into the world, what you can actually bring into this world. And it's going to be like a little bit of a trial and error because one, we have experiencing, you have to actually go out or take account of all that you've seen and all that you've learned while you've been here on Earth. And you also have to be able to analyze all that because, aloneness is the hermit. So it's like there's a part of you that needs to understand this function, understand, especially if it comes to love. Excuse me. It's like understanding, is this working? Is it realistic? Am I getting my needs met? Or am I doing this out of some other motive? But I'm really seeing this as more like a soul journey because that's what these cards are, the Zen cards. So for you, it's more it's more about you needing to reconnect with this part of yourself that, was put here to function on a higher vibration, that was put here to understand what your truest function is, what your highest function is on this world. And that in and of itself is going to come through these struggles, through these trials that you have with other people. But it's also going to come from your dissatisfaction. The danger with the Four of Cups is that we get stuck here. We get stuck in this boredom. And that we are unwilling to come out of it because we're just so comfortable there. The Four is all about stability. And so with the Four of Cups, the worst thing is staying there because, next comes the Five, and that's no fun either. So we want to stay there, but the boat has to be rocked eventually, and we have to be willing to take that chance. We have to be willing to get back in touch with our natural rhythms, all of that in order to understand what our next steps should be, where we should go from that, because we have two tens here. So you're looking for completion. We have the World. You're looking for total completion, but a large factor of that is having to face the ugliness and having to face the brutality and the stuff that we weren't meant to have, the things that isn't really owed to us. It's more like the things we have to fight for, our battle scars, the imperfection, the perfection, the highs, the lows, everything. So a lot of this is about really reconnecting with just the bullshit in life, but understanding that, beauty comes from that, experience comes from that. And that's essentially what's going to be to your benefit going into Virgo season, Leo. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next month. Adios.